NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode number 108, entitled Iwata is Back. He is back with a vengeance. He is back finally after being away due to health issues, and he had a recent Nintendo Direct. So that's what this episode is all about. Today, to discuss it with me, I have Greg.
Hey guys.
And Barry.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Steve is out of the country, and this might even be like one of the first episodes ever that Steve has like not been on the podcast. So Steve will be missed, but we'll go on without him. We'll trudge on. We'll continue on. But have a safe trip, Steve, and hope you enjoy. And we'll see you next time. So before we get into the actual Nintendo Direct information and everything, there are one or two little things that I kind of wanted to mention. One of them being is somebody in the chat room posted a comment, and so by the way, you can actually post comments in the chat room that we have going. So this NintendoFuse podcast is live, interactive. You can post your thoughts on stuff. We'll say it on the podcast. There's a YouTube chat, so there's a live stream going. You can also listen to us on TalkShoe, and there's a chat room there, and you can even call into the podcast on TalkShoe and talk to us live, and it's a lot of fun. So full details on how to do that are on NintendoFuse.com right now. So head to NintendoFuse.com, and you'll see the details on how to call in or post in the chat and all that fun stuff. But I wanted to give a shout-out to the official Dylan Ryder Show, which is on YouTube. And he's asking, he said, Husson, how's your Super Smash Bros. Cover plate? So I did get the cover plate for the new 3DS. I don't know if you can really see it that well. It's very faint, kind of. It's a little blurry, too. It's not the best. But it still looks kind of neat there. So I did get the cover plate just recently. It's supposed to come Wednesday, came today. So I got my new 3DS. Got my cover plate, and I'm ready to go. I will do a video of that soon, so stay tuned to NintendoFuse.com for that video as well. The second little housekeeping update, I guess, is there's a new Wii U system update. And I was updating it, but now I just got an error code, apparently, so now I have to do it again. It says unable to connect to the internet. New system update, which is basically for Amiibo compatibility, I believe, is just the main thing. System stability stuff.
System stability.
Right, Barry? I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, system stability, but the main thing is it adds Amiibo functionality to the system, and it's in the system settings. There's now an Amiibo area for you to customize your Amiibo settings. I haven't played with it much. I just did the update. But I'm assuming it's necessary for the Mario Kart, Hyrule Warriors, and Smash Brothers updates.
Right. Probably. So yeah, definitely check that out. Update your Wii U and get ready for that. So, without further ado, let's kind of just dive right into it. So, Nintendo Direct happened, and a bunch of announcements, some small, some big. And so first things first, they started right off the bat with probably the biggest announcement of the Nintendo Direct. One that many people had wanted for a while, and Nintendo kind of teased, but it's finally official. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D is coming to the 3DS. They're doing a remake. It's coming in spring 2015. So, Majora's Mask 3D, are you guys excited for this?
I'm not really super excited. I mean, I kind of almost expected it after they did Ocarina of Time, but I was more surprised that it took them this long to announce it, and also arriving this late in the game. But I'll probably end up still picking it up. It looks like they've done a lot of fantastic changes with it, with the graphical changes, and it sounds like they're trying to stay true to the original game as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be picking it up. It's not something I was surprised to see. Besides all the little hints that they have been leaving the whole time, it just made sense from a standpoint. The team that did Ocarina of Time, we haven't heard what they were doing, so it pretty much made sense. Hey, go right ahead to Majora's Mask. It also made sense that they took this long to announce it, because Miyamoto stated that he did not want to see two remakes of Zelda games back to back, and he wanted something in between. So he got his wish to make a Link to the Past sequel. And even if you think about it, after that, we still got Wind Waker HD, but we got Hyrule Warriors, so at least we're not getting back-to-back remakes. But I'm happy to see it. It's expected. It's a smart move. It's a safe move, and it's just going to help further sales. But I'm definitely getting it. I have it pre-ordered already on Amazon. But I am pissed that Europe gets a collector's edition and America once again does not. Yeah,
Yeah, I
F
saw that. They
you,
got like a
Nintendo of
steelbook and
America.
everything. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, Nintendo of America, you're dropping the ball. You're dropping the ball hard. This is unacceptable at this point. People are going to throw money anyway. You're not selling these things at a loss. You're selling them at a profit. Give people what they want. We are your consumers. We are throwing money at you. Let us throw more money at you.
Right.
You know what they're gonna do is they're gonna wait until, I don't know, maybe January, February. Then they'll announce the special edition, but then it'll only be available at the Nintendo World Store.
And only
They'll
500
only
copies.
have like 100 copies of it.
Yes.
Right.
And if they, don't get me started. I already wrote one editorial about Nintendo America. I'm about to do another one. That's so aggravating and so poor from a business standpoint.
Yeah, it's not that much more money, I'm sure, to make a collector's edition. This is the type of game that you know will sell the collector's edition too. People have been wanting it. It's a classic game or a remake of it. It's definitely going to sell, but I don't know.
And they're not selling at a loss. I doubt they're selling at a loss. I really doubt they would. So they're making money, even if it's just $5. If they sell 1 million units of it in America, 5 million, extra $5 million. You want it? I don't know. Do I really want an extra $5 million? Oh, I guess I could line my pockets with it.
Right. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say they're always very cautious with that. I mean, maybe they don't know it's gonna sell as well as they think they are. I mean, obviously there's tons of Majora's Mask fans that are looking for the game, but as they've always said, like all those petitions and stuff doesn't always equate to sales. I know the Ocarina of Time 3D one is only a few million or whatever, but then there's other games like Mario Kart 7 that's like soared past that in terms of sales.
Well, the way you do it to play safe is you do pre-orders. You make one for every pre-order. You don't make any in advance. So if you have 1 million pre-orders for it, you make 1 million because they're equated to sales. And I guarantee you, if one gets sent to a GameStop and the person says, I'm not going to pick it up, there's going to be somebody there picking it up. Somebody will buy it, whether it be an employee, a manager, or just someone random. Oh, wow, you have one in, I'll buy it. I don't think it's going to sit there long. Zelda, for Christ's sake.
Right. Me personally, I'm still debating whether I'm going to get it or not. I mean, I'm sure it's good. I've actually never played Majora's Mask, but at the same time, I'm one of those people that, like, when the Zelda games get, like, more linear and, like, this and that, like, I kind of like that more, whereas traditional Zelda fans hate that, so I'm kind of, like, the opposite boat in a way. So, like, Skyward Sword was, like, my favorite so far. So going back to the old games, as cool as it is to have a remake, I'm still kind of iffy about it. Ocarina of Time 3D was cool, but I'm debating Majora's Mask. I guess I'll see what else is coming out around that time and see how it goes. But I know a lot of people have been wanting it, and I'm excited that everybody can finally have the remake, which is pretty cool. I want to give a shout out in the chat. To I'm Mr. Blanky, and I'm Mr. Blanky. And the official Dylan and Ryder show also said, he asked the question, is Amiibo like Skylanders? Amiibo, well, we'll kind of talk a bit more about Amiibo later, but it's sort of like it. You do have figures just like you do with Skylanders. So with Skylanders, you have like a specific Skylanders game that you use those figures in. Whereas Amiibo you use in many different games. Like you can use it in Super Smash Brothers, or as we'll talk later in the podcast, Mario Kart 8, Hyrule Warriors. So there's a bunch of different games that use them. So we'll talk Amiibo, and by the time we'll do another podcast, our next podcast will be in 2 weeks, and Amiibo will have already released by then, so we can show you guys the Amiibo. We'll talk about them a bit more, and you'll have some more details on it in the next episode. So. The other 3DS game that they talked about was Codename Steam. So it's from Intelligent Systems, right? They created as a Fire Emblem and Advance Wars. And it's one of those interesting, it's like a tactical, turn-based action RPG, and it's got like Abraham Lincoln in it, but it's like everybody has all these little gadgets. It's really like interesting looking. Are you guys like curious about the game? Are you guys interested in it?
Not
Me
actually. as much as I was thinking it was going to be. I mean, I do usually like the action RPGs and stuff like that, but usually seems like to be more tactical with like guns and stuff. And I don't know. Based on the trailer, it didn't seem like it would be something as I thought as much as I would enjoy.
Well, it's not really an action RPG. It's more of a strategy RPG. And I was always excited about it because I've liked the Fire Emblem games, and I liked Valkyria Chronicles, and this looks like very very similar to that. So I was already expecting to get it, but after this trailer, just seeing the Steam works, and most importantly to me, like the characters, I just think the whole steampunk characters are fantastic, and you get from Tom Sawyer to the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz, and it's just great that they're just pulling all these characters that you would never think to see in a Nintendo game, let alone a steampunk shooter against aliens. And here you are, you're getting them. I think it's very deep. I'm sure it's very deep. I have full confidence in intelligence systems, and my only complaint is pretty much with people. And what I mean by that is like just looking at the responses. I saw so many people, even during the direct, saying, "I don't care, I don't care, I don't care." But all I hear from people is saying, "We want Nintendo to make new IP, new IP, new IP." And here it is. There's another new IP from Nintendo. You should care because that's what they're giving us.
I know, like the Fire Emblem series is already difficult for them to sell. I mean, Awakening might have been the last game in the series if it didn't meet the expectations. Thankfully, they put a lot of hard work into it, and it sold way beyond the expectations. So you probably will get another Fire Emblem game. But I can see why there'd be a number of backlash because if there's already people not buying Fire Emblem, then who are those who are going to be buying this new game? That's, I guess, how I see it, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was just say for me, I'm in the boat where it's not my type of genre for a game, so that's why I'm probably in the boat of people that's like, I don't care. But at the same time, I'm not one of the people that's complaining like, give me that new IP, and then ignoring the ones they do release. So I guess you got to have that balance there. You got to understand that it is a new IP. It may not be for everybody, but people have to understand that as well.
Well, I like that they're taking a risk. They're not doing something safe. They're not doing something that they could easily make another Fire Emblem game, and I'm sure they will. We still don't know what's going on with SMT Cross Fire Emblem. We haven't heard about that in well over a year, but it pretty much seems like Nintendo went to Intelligence System and said, "Do whatever you want, be as crazy as you want, and have fun with it." And it really feels like the developers are having fun with this project, and they're making something so zany and so crazy that you can only get from Nintendo, because that's really where the true gems shine. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, it does get stale. I mean, who would have thought Abraham Lincoln fighting aliens with Tom Sawyer and the Cowardly Lion? I mean, maybe a third grader somewhere in some warp drawing they did for art class, but you're just not going to see that. It's so out there that to me, it's such a draw because of that.
Right. It is one of those things that like you would probably only see on Nintendo console, which does make it pretty interesting. The official Dylan and Ryder show says, "I'm curious and interested, sort of," and I, Mr. Blanky, says they need to talk about the SMT and Fire Emblem crossover.
Yeah, it's been too long since we've heard about that game. I hope it's not canceled.
Right. I think it's probably still been on the release list and everything, so they just probably have kept quiet about it for a while. But yeah, I would expect soon we would hear about it. Another 3DS game they talked about is Ultimate NES Remix, which is actually a mix of the games NES Remix and NES Remix 2, which are both actually mixes of NES games, so kind of. But anyway, so those are for Wii U, but they're taking like the best of those games, combining it 16 games together, as well as a Famicom Remix mode, which has challenges from the Japanese version of the game. There's also a like super speed like Mario, and it's like super fast, so you do have that. But what's also really cool is there's online leaderboards, so you can actually compare your scores with people from. Now it says compare scores in challenges with others in their region, so I guess it's not a global leaderboard. It just, at least from the description, sounds reasonable. But still, that's pretty cool to have, online leaderboards. I would think this is the type of game that you'd want to have that sort of a thing, which is pretty neat. What do you guys think about Ultimate NES Remix?
Yeah, I think it's also pretty safe. I mean, they obviously heard the fans complain that those remix games are only on Wii U, and they could have easily worked on 3DS. So obviously, it's kind of almost expected in that nature as well. But I might end up getting it. I'm trying to justify it. I never got the second one. I was kind of bummed when they said the Platinum Awards, like only the first one was available, but I didn't have the second one. So I guess I'm kind of banking on the second one coming next year or something, and this would be a chance for me to try some of the challenges from the second one if I were to pick this up. I mean, it's not a definite pickup yet. I'll see if I can justify it to get it, but it does seem remotely interesting the way that they took the best of the games, which is like the main Mario series games and like both Zelda games and stuff like that, and it's all in one package. It's not two different games.
Yeah, I'm excited about it just because it's on the go. I never got to play NES Remix 1 or 2, not because they weren't awarded for Platinum, but because I'm just not someone who downloads games. I like physical media, so I'm surprised they didn't even mention in December they are releasing 1 and 2 for Wii U in a physical form, so I will get my first experience of it there. But I also plan on playing Speed Mario Brothers, which I'm actually very excited to play because it's been a while since I played the original, and it's certainly something new. And I'm kind of interested in this Famicom remix. It's kind of nice to see Nintendo do something where it's like, hey, Americans do like the Japanese stuff too, and to see the differences. So, I don't know if like Lost Levels is included in that, which would be kind of cool to see, but just maybe supporting it, say, hey, we like games like this, bring games over. But it's a safe release. It's definitely something. They don't need a big game in December, especially with Pokemon right before that, but it's a nice little something to fill. Hey, look, we have something in December, something extra for Christmas, and it pads the library for sure, and it's an easy release.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean it is simple for them, but I'm sure people will buy it, and it's like these types of things that I think Nintendo can use to fill in their schedule more. I think there's a lot of gaps sometimes in the release schedules, but games like these, I mean, they're not hard to make. I mean, even like old Virtual Console releases, like in months that you don't have much, release a whole bunch. Space out your releases a bit more. I think that's kind of wise to do, but instead, they decided to release this December 5th, shortly after Pokemon and Amiibo and Smash Brothers and everything else. It's like, come on, Nintendo, space things out.
You know what they could do? They could even package up Virtual Console releases and just release, like, Xbox Live Arcade had, physical versions of Live Arcade, and PSN did the same with some of their games. They could do, like, best of Virtual Console and just make a physical media, get it on the store shelves, release it, You never know. It probably costs them very cheap to make, and they sell a little bit. It's extra retail space. Especially
Right.
for those routes.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think they definitely should do that, but Nintendo's marketing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Final Bossman on game trailers. Have either of you guys seen that?
I have.
It's like the elephants analogy that he always does.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 just Nintendo just walking along, all just doing their thing, that always gets me. So one of the other things they talked about for 3DS was a special edition 3DS XL it's a Persona Q edition 3DS XL. So the game comes out November 25th, and now you can get this 3DS XL for $199.99. So I kind of wanted to see, I guess, if you guys, were interested in Persona Q, but then also the idea of special editions. Like, for me, Persona Q, I'm not really interested in that. But with special editions of systems, I was actually thinking about it. On one hand, I used to kind of like the idea of them, but then I was like, if I buy a system, then and they release another cool version of it, then I'm not gonna, then I'm gonna kind of miss out in a way. So I actually kind of hope that they sort of almost go away from those special systems, but instead make systems like the new 3DS where you can switch out the cover plates and make special cover plates or something instead. That way, more people can kind of enjoy that artwork and stuff. But that's just my thoughts on those special systems and everything. What are you guys' thoughts on the game and the system?
Well, in terms of the system, I think that's why they are doing those cover plates, at least for Japan. So then it's like they don't have to release edition after edition after edition. They can just release a cover plate. And it's cheaper, and then it all makes it a range for everyone to get it. In terms of Persona Q itself, I've been doing a little bit of research to find out more about it. I'm very unfamiliar with the series. I know it's big on PlayStation and everything, which I don't have a PlayStation system, never have, and probably never will. It does seem kind of like it's like a dungeon crawler RPG, and I did play the Etrian Odyssey series, or the fourth game at least, recently, over the last year or whatever, and that was pretty fun. So I have on my radar for a game to pick up if I'm looking for a game to get.
Yeah, I'm with you there on the systems. I usually get a system at launch, and if there's a special edition of a system later on, you know, if I decide to wait, I'll pick it up. Like I got the Zelda XL and stuff. But I agree, the faceplates are definitely the way to go, and I hope they continue that way. Simply because it just alienates people who were early adapters, like the Wii U. I got a Wii U at launch, and I'd love the Zelda Wii U gamepad, but I'm punished because I got it at launch instead of when they came out with the Wind Waker bundle. And there's nothing I could do other than plop down another $300, which I'm not doing for a controller. But I'm happy to see them supporting Atlas. I was surprised that Nintendo didn't buy Atlas last year when they went on, you know, for sale. I thought that would have been a fantastic addition to Nintendo's second party. But at least they're doing something with Atlas in addition to SMT, Cross Fire Emblem, and hopefully more comes out of it. As for Persona Q, I've enjoyed the Persona series from what I played. I loved Etrian Odyssey. In fact, if you go back and watch Game of the Year from last year, Etrian Odyssey 4 was in my top 3 3DS games. So since it's made by Persona team and Etrian Odyssey team, I'm very excited to see how Persona Q comes out. So I will be getting that game.
Nice. Yeah, I think that is actually good, though, that they are supporting the game. I do like when Nintendo tries to do those special things with other companies, because it definitely some nice promotion for them. So, time to switch gears a little bit to Wii U stuff. So Mario Kart 8, right? We all know DLC coming, and we had a tentative date of just November. Now we have an actual release date, which is November 13th, which is in 3 days. So that's Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday.
Yep.
So this Thursday, the first pack of DLC releases. So this has got courses from Legend of Zelda, F-Zero, Excitebike, some new characters like Link, and others. So it actually looks pretty cool. They kind of showed off some of the new courses and everything, and it looks like a lot of fun. I'm very excited about it. So in a couple days, new Mario Kart 8 DLC, which is great. But also tying that in to some new stuff coming from Mario Kart 8. We talked about Amiibo being compatible in many different games, and finally we got some information about how Amiibo is going to work with Mario Kart 8 and other games. So in Mario Kart 8, you'll be able to use certain Amiibo figures and tap them on the Wii U gamepad, and you'll get a Mii racing suit themed to that Amiibo. So, for example, you tap Mario on the gamepad, and you'll now have a racing suit for your Mii that looks like Mario. So you kind of can have some more fun with your Miis and make them look like other characters, which I think is really cool. It's a fun little touch, I guess, to add into these games. So technically you're not playing as these characters, but you're playing as your Mii themed as those characters. And so far they've confirmed Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Link, Captain Falcon, Fox, Samus, and Kirby as being compatible with Mario Kart 8. I'm sure they're going to announce more down the line. They might be waiting for like the next DLC pack, and then they'll kind of tie that in with it as well. So we'll see what goes on there. Yeah, definitely. So that's coming sometime this year. I don't think when they said specifically that part of it is. Also, Hyrule Warriors this year is getting Amiibo compatibility. You'll be able to use the Link Amiibo figure to get a special spinner weapon, but also every Amiibo from Super Smash Bros. will grant randomly selected materials, weapons, or rupees in the game. And then other games next year, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, and Yoshi's Woolly World, and Mario Party 10 will be Amiibo compatible as well. So, what are your thoughts on on Mario Kart 8 DLC and Amiibo?
I'm definitely very excited for the new courses, because even though I haven't really even played Mario Kart 8 very much, which is kind of sad because it's actually like my favorite series, I'm still really excited to get like a fresh look with some new courses and at least have some more characters to select and more vehicles and stuff to play as. In terms of the Amiibo functionality, I'm almost kind of disappointed the way it's used with Mario Kart 8. It's just for like a simple costume kind of thing. It can be pretty neat, I guess, but I don't usually like racing as my me in the Mario Kart series in general, so maybe that's why that type of costume doesn't really fit my kind of style, I guess. In terms of like, the Hyrule Warriors, I'm pretty excited. I already had planned to get the Link figure, so I'll get the weapon. Also, they did announce a few later the Zelda additional weapon, which it seems like only the main line Zelda characters will be doing like special weapons, where all the other ones are just materials or rupees or whatever, which would be nice. I mean, that seems like a very small menial difference as well in that game if you've played it.
Right. Hey Barry, real quick. Sorry, I think is your microphone or something?
The microphone should be working.
Now I can see you. Because
Okay.
before I couldn't see your voice, and people in the chat were saying the audio got cut out or something.
Oh, okay. There we go.
There you go.
Sorry about that. But what you call again, like the fact that it's added to begin with in Hyrule Warriors is a good thing. It's a nice bonus, but I don't know how often you can do it. Like, can you scan it once a day, once a week? Is it once? Like, if you scan it and you get 1,000 rupees, is that it? You're done. Your Amiibo experience is over. Or do you have more stuff to go with? So hopefully we get some answers, within the next 2 weeks. And I don't know the the Twilight Princess pack. I think that's coming this week or next week as the second part of the Season Pass DLC for Hyrule Warriors as well. But they didn't really talk about it in the Direct.
Gotcha.
Based on the ability that Link just grants a weapon, that makes it seem to me that it's gonna be a one-time scan thing for like the rubies and materials, because if you could have like infinite materials, that it could probably end up breaking the game where you can construct all the badges without having to really play the game.
Yeah, I could see it being maybe once a week, once a month. I can't see it being, if it's one and done, it has to be something significant. Otherwise, it's like, hey, I just bought this $13 figure and I got 500 rupees. Yay, you know?
I don't think it'd be like a 500 rupees. It might maybe like 1,000 or like
Right.
1,000, 10,000.
I assume it's going to be gold material, like the harder material to get.
Oh,
Right. I think it's like what you were saying, Barry. I think it was kind of late in the development cycle, and I think they just threw it in there just to have it, really.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm not expecting much out of it. I will say though, I'm at least for Mario Kart 8 and some of these other ones, I am kind of actually almost happy with the way they are using Amiibo, simply because I thought with Mario Kart 8 you'd only be able to use like Mario and Peach or like just the Mario characters or something. But the fact that you can actually use a lot of different characters in it and got a lot of different kinds of costumes and things, that actually kind of surprised me, because if they were to try and do something a bit more substantial with it, that would have taken so much more development time with it, and I don't know that they would be able to commit to all of that with Mario Kart 8, since that's a game that's already kind of been out and they have DLC and stuff for it. But so I was actually kind of surprised by it. And Hyrule Warriors, again, I was only expecting like some of the Link Amiibo to do anything. But the fact that every Amiibo can do something, even though if it's something small, it's like it's a selling point that your Amiibo is still like being able to be used in many different games, even if it is something small. At least initially, I think next year and so on they'll have better uses for Amiibo. But I am excited that they are trying to have more Amiibos compatible with more games, I guess, which is a plus, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's
that is like a major selling point and everything, obviously, like you said. But obviously they're going to be milking the Amiibos as much as they can. There's going to be like another Mario version for another future Mario game. There's going to probably be another Yoshi. There's going to be multiples of each of the characters too, and then you only can do so much, like with like the older games too. I mean, is Mario Kart 8 going to use both Yoshis, or is it only going to use the Smash Brothers Yoshi? So there's going to be that kind of thing as well too.
Right, which I think they kind of had talked about. At one of the, I forget if it was at a briefing or something. They talked about how they may have different versions of the same character, and that, like for example, you may have different kinds of Marios. But I think they said like they would all act as Mario regardless of which game you use. But like the Smash Brothers amiibo for Mario might have like a little bit of space, particularly for something Smash Bros. Related. Or something might have, something like that. But I think in general they said like whatever character amiibo you get will be the same across the board or something like that. At least I think they said that was their plan. So we'll see though.
That would make sense, especially if they're talking about how retail space is limited, and they're probably going to have to discontinue some amiibo to make make room for new ones. So especially if one gets discontinued, let's just say Kirby gets discontinued from the Smash Brothers line, and then Kirby's Rainbow Curse is coming out, and Kirby amiibo does all this, and you have a kid saying, I can't find Kirby now, it's going for $100 on eBay, what the heck? They'll come up with a canvas Kirby that's like maybe claymation or maybe in a ball or something, and that one will work. But that would also work for Smash Brothers. And if you already have the Kirby from Smash Brothers, you don't need to buy this new one. You could just go ahead and use it in Kirby's Rainbow Curse. Just an example.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think they're just kind of getting started with Amiibo, because they even talked about recently having like cards with the NFC chips, and even using like, I don't know if they're gonna even call them Amiibo cards or anything, or just completely different, but they're really going to try and use NFC a lot more. I want to take a look at the chat here real quick. The official Gentleman Rider show says, is there going to be a Mario Kart 8 for 3DS? No, there is not. Mario Kart 7 is the most recent for 3DS. Mario Kart 8 is Wii U only. Um, I, Mr. Blanky, also kind of agreed about saying he was disappointed with the Mario Kart 8 and Hyrule Warriors amiibo functionality, saying it feels lazy that every amiibo gives you random materials you'll get from normal play. But he's saying how amiibo is not like Disney Infinity or Skylanders. Yeah, I mean, I do wonder if down the road they will release some sort of a game specifically for amiibo. Like, I feel like something like a Nintendo Land sequel almost might be perfect for an amiibo kind of a game if they want an actual game like Skylanders or Disney Infinity or something. But whether they end up doing that or not, we'll see. But there's a lot of potential with it, I think. I know that it's going to be killing my wallet because I've already gotten pre-ordered all of Wave 1 and 2 of the amiibo. I'm going to be getting them all.
Me too.
I already have, yeah, Barry's with me, but I think both of our wallets will be crying. Greg is the smart one here, I think, but...
You kidding me? Next Friday is like $400 between Smash with the GameCube bundle, all 12 amiibos, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. It's ridiculous. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Gosh,
yeah,
everything.
Holiday.
Every
you're probably the one. Then you get like Treasure Tracker Toad and Captain Toad and Ultimate NES Remix as well.
Yep.
A few days after all that.
God, that's in December. That's all I have to say.
It's like, Nintendo, do you want us to give you money, or do you want us to like go bankrupt or something? Like, come on now. Like Disney Infinity. Well, okay, I guess I could say at least with Amiibo, like Nintendo is going to be spacing them out in certain wave releases and stuff, so you can kind of plan ahead and figure all that out. But yeah, it's going to be a lot. I mean, at least even Smash Brothers alone, every Smash Brothers character is getting an Amiibo, so that alone is a lot.
Could you imagine if they came out and said, Amiibo's coming, buy all 49 of them come November 21st. All 49.
Can you imagine?
Only $15 a piece.
And if they start releasing like variant versions, like exclusives, like different colored versions of each of the Amiibo, like, I'm done. I can't do it. Like, that will be insane.
Well, there supposedly was a Club Nintendo survey asking about if like people would want to buy like all the variants or whatever, and I was like, please everyone answer that no. You don't need a red costume Link. You don't need a blue costume Link. You don't need that. I mean, like Dark Link might actually be kind of cool, but like you don't need to like do all the different skin, a different color coding on it. That'd be really dumb if you're like really collect all of those.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even think about the Koopa Kids if they're going to release. I'm assuming it'll just be a Bowser Jr. amiibo, but it would be kind of cool to have. Do they have a different like picture when you select the Koopa the Kids?
Yep.
So maybe
they
will
have a different chant and everything. What about Alf? Everyone forgets about Alf. He's in the game too.
Does he have a separate? Now I have to try and like remember if they have like
he's got a separate everything. Separate icon, separate icon, separate chant, separate character sprite and everything. Yeah, Alf is there, just like us.
The video from Game Explain or whatever, and they showed all the aliases on that Punch Out stage, and like it showed there was a unique one for Alf and one for Olimar, and then there was also one for each of the Koopa Kids.
Yep. A lot of people forget that they're in the game as well as extra characters, but they are extra characters.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see a whole wave of Koopa Kid releases or something. That would actually be kind of a cool set, though, if they released them like all in a big set. I think that would kind of look pretty neat. I've actually seen Amiibo displays in stores already. I don't know if you guys have seen like Toys R Us, like they have a big sign. They even have like shelf space already like open for it and stuff. So it's definitely going to be a big thing Nintendo's going to be pushing. So we'll see. So November 21st is the first wave of Amiibo characters, and the second wave comes 6 more characters in December, and then more to follow next year. So we'll look forward to that. The next podcast, we will have the Amiibo so we can show it to you and talk about it, and we'll have some fun with that. So next game I want to talk about is Splatoon, which is one of those Wii U exclusives, new IP, coming in the second quarter of 2015. 4-on-4 online multiplayer, they kind of announced now like a single player mode as well, where you control your character against, you fight like an army of the press release says octopi. It always throws me off, the plural of octopus, like octopi. It's that game. I am really excited about that game because I mean I like like first person shooter types of things, but this is like it's a different take on it, but it seems like so much fun, especially the online play thing. Oh my goodness, I am excited about this. Are you guys looking forward to Splatoon?
Oh, I definitely am. That's probably one that I will most likely get pretty close to launch. Unfortunately, Steve would be the one up for the review copy if we're to be blessed with one in the first place. But I definitely am going to be looking forward to it. It seems like it's going to be a lot more fun. And what's different for this one than like the Steam one is like this one's like more action-oriented and it's not really like turn-based and stuff. And it seems better for like the shooter kind of genre where I feel like that's why I was kind of turned away from the steampunk game. But in general, I just think the Splatoon game looks real great. The graphics look very impressive. I think the idea of like turning into like the little squid thing that go jump through the ink is all pretty unique and good stuff for Nintendo to get their feet wet in the shooter genre.
Yeah, I'm not a huge shooter fan, but I'm very interested in it. At E3, I enjoyed it, but I was always hoping for something more than just a 4-on-4 death battle kind of thing, or a graffiti mode, if you will. So when I saw the single player, I was very happy. But the fact that it almost looks like playing like a Mario type platformer as well, like those puzzles and knowing where to ink certain areas to jump, different platforms, got me really excited. And the fact, again, the story is so crazy. Those octopus, they're like just tentacles and kind of bringing me back to like Maniac Mansion. But again, it feels like Nintendo just said to the developers, have fun. Do whatever you want. And I think that's when we get the best games. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turns out.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the 4-on-4 multiplayer, we got to have the three of us and Steve on like one squad online if that's possible, and have our NintendoFuse crew and face others. That would be a lot of fun. So
NintendoFuse versus the world.
In the chat, I'm Mr. Blanky says Splatoon is definitely one of my more hyped up Nintendo releases next year. For sure, it's definitely looks like a lot of fun. So we'll see how that is. Next up, Xenoblade Chronicles X coming next year for Wii U. So they kind of showed off, a new preview of it and everything. And yeah, it looks good. Looks interesting. They kind of showed us a lot more of different areas, like the city of New Los Angeles is your home base, and it kind of showed off more of the area and what the game looks like. And it's another one of those games. It's not the type of genre that I like, but at the same time, I'm always impressed at just how cool like it all looks like visually. So that alone, I'm always excited to see new trailers and stuff for the game. So it definitely looks pretty neat. What about you guys? Thoughts on the game?
Well, I didn't really get my feet wet much with Xenoblade, the one for Wii. It looks very impressive, and it also seems like it'd be a lot of fun. But it seems like it's kind of similar to Monster Hunter, which I didn't really actually care for, like taking down like a huge kind of creature as like a team and all that action, like fighting a very difficult boss and everything. I usually am into really open world games such as this, but realizing as my life will be changing next year, I probably won't have time to play it or to really enjoy it. So unfortunately, I'll probably have to pass on it.
You guys just are not really feeling it. That's all I have to say. You gotta really feel it, because it's Rhine time, okay? It is. Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles X. That game, amazing. And you need to play. In fact, Hassan, I'm putting a ban. You cannot play Smash Brothers until you play Xenoblade Chronicles X. All right? That game, for me personally, was my favorite game of last generation. I'm talking every Wii game, every PS3 game, and every Xbox 360 game. That game blew everything out of the water in my eyes. It was something that we needed. It was an incredible story that just gets deeper the more you go into it. The characters were great. They're just so memorable and memes galore because of it. And especially with the British cast, I think that really made the game even better. But when uh, this game was announced, I was in love, and I don't really think this is going a Monster Hunter route because Xenoblade Chronicles and Monster Hunter are two vastly different games. Very, very, very different. Monster Hunter is more taking down certain monsters and forging your new equipment, and going out and going on quests and cooking and all. Like Xenoblade is totally different. It's a JRPG. You go there to get new equipment. You go to the shop. You buy equipment. You get drops. It's a whole different game. And Xenoblade Chronicles X, it just everything. Every time I see this game, something new. And in this trailer, we got to see what looks like people are calling Grand Theft Auto on Nintendo system, walking down a street and jumping through people's backyards where they're tanning, in a swimming pool. Just something so out there, something totally unlike anything we've seen in this game before. And it showed off no mechs. That was the thing that interested me. No mechs were shown at all in this trailer. And they already look amazing. So the fact that this game and this trailer is getting such buzz without that amazing aspect of it alone, I mean, who doesn't like mechs? It just shows how deep and how good. And I was looking at a comparison, and if you look at the E3 trailer, which did show New Los Angeles, and you look at this trailer of New Los Angeles, the same buildings, the graphics on this trailer are like 100 times clearer. They're crisper. They're better graphics. So whatever they've done in this 6-month period, 5-month period, whatever it is, they've enhanced it so much that I just can't wait for the full game. That's my life. 90 hours in Xenoblade Chronicles, probably 150 in this one.
And see, I think that's why I never got into it, because I have 1 hour a week for games nowadays. Like, not even.
Doesn't matter. No Smash for you.
I'll probably finish Xenoblade Chronicles by the time I have I don't know, I'm married and have 3 kids. There's
okay.
the Wii U 2 or something at that time at my rate.
It's okay.
No, I mean, I think what immediately caught my attention at first was the mechs and stuff, but then even this trailer, like you said, without it, definitely looked pretty cool. So I think visually it's definitely one to see. If there's a way for me to rent games more easily, that would definitely be one for me to just get and just to see what it's all about. But I wonder if the Redbox would have Xenoblade Chronicles X or something. I don't know that it would, but maybe that would be something interesting to try out. Nintendo should do a rental service on the eShop.
I'm sure down the line they probably will, but I would think that it might even be better just to do GameFly, which is kind of like Netflix, where they'll just put the game in your mailbox and then you can return it when you want. It's
Right.
A subscription-based model.
We just buy that game. It's unless they somehow screw it up, which I can't see them doing with this long development time. I don't see that happening. So awesome.
Right. So definitely Xenoblade Chronicles X is one game to look out for coming next year. Another game next year coming in February is Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. So this one is similar to, I think, a Kirby Canvas Curse on the DS.
Yes.
So instead you use the gamepad and you draw, Rainbow Line, you kind of guide Kirby on it. But there's a new 4-player multiplayer mode as well, where one player plays as Kirby and uses the gamepad. The others use Waddle Dee characters that can collect items and carry Kirby around as well. So it looked like fun. I'm excited about it. I liked the idea of Canvas Curse, and I don't think I think I played it, but I don't think I bought it. But I did like it, though, and I'm excited about this game. I think that'll be fun to kind of mess around with. Kirby games are those games that, on the surface, they're quite easy to play, but they're so addictive, and, if you really kind of get into it, they can get kind of challenging if you try and, collect everything and do all that sort of a thing. So I'm looking forward to the new Kirby game. What about you guys?
I'm not usually much of a Kirby fan, actually. So I don't think I really have just about any of his games. except for some of the older Virtual Console games. I haven't really played like Crystal Shards or anything like that, like past like Super Nintendo. So I mean, it looks really interesting. It looks a really unique idea and everything, but I've never really got myself into the Kirby games in general.
I'm exactly the opposite. I love Kirby. Ever since Kirby's Dream Land came out, and I had to work my ass off to make sure I can get that as a kid, and I appreciated all 4 levels of that game very, very much. But Canvas Curse, I thought was a great game. It came out early in the DS life, and I played through a few levels, and I really enjoyed it. But so much came out, and it was such a big part of my life. I just didn't give it a chance to grow, and I never went back to it. It's one of the regrets, and probably something I will do if I ever get the time with all this great stuff coming out, is go back to that game. And I do regret never finishing it, but I did enjoy it. So Rainbow Curse, I'm very much looking forward to. However, I'm looking more forward to the 4-player mode. I think that's really neat to have the Waddle Dees in there, and I think that's going to change up quite a bit. So I'm interested to see how that works, and if they could help you through levels, carry you and stuff. You're like, hey, I'm having problems, call my wife and say, hey, log in as Waddle Dee and pick me up and just carry me to the goal or something. But I'm interested to see. Nintendo recently has been doing a lot of 4-player side-scrolling games, and they've come out really well. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and obviously Kirby Return to Dreamland did it. So now this. So I'm really interested to seeing how they pull it off, especially with one player doing nothing but drawing the lines for the characters to stand on and roll on.
Right, for sure. I think it looks interesting. So we might have a caller, maybe. It's hard to I missed somebody there. Steve Perry 3333 in the talk show chat, but since Steve isn't here and I'm managing this other screen, I'm like juggling between all these screens. I missed you, so I apologize. It looks like there might be somebody on the call. So let's see. Hey, is this Steve?
Hey, Greg, how are you guys?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. And I'm from Jersey. I've just been listening. Sorry about the technology problem. Never really done this before.
No problem.
Finally got through. Thanks for punching me in.
Sure.
I'm glad to hear another guy from Jersey here represent.
The Kirby game, I'll tell you, I remember it. It's the same one. They had it for Game Boy in the mid-90s. Do you remember the original Kirby?
That was Kirby's Dream Land, yes.
Yeah, that was a great game. But I'll tell you, you gave a great description. It was addicting. And I was just curious, what is any new on the accessory front for that Nintendo's putting out? You guys know anything?
So I guess if you can call the Amiibos an accessory in a way, they somewhat are. They're little figures that you can use in the games, in various different games. In some way, I guess those are kind of accessories, and you can use them for Wii U, and it will be compatible with 3DS next year. They're going to release an attachment and an accessory for it there. Other than that, I don't think there's really much else from Nintendo in terms of accessories this year. Right?
Yeah, because as soon as you guys said Kirby, I was listening with my buddy The Ledge, my old roommate, and we figured we had to call in. But yeah, guys, you guys doing a great job, and thanks for punching me in. And Dare, Greg, Haas, keep doing the show. I'll keep listening in.
Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Talk to you later. Cool. So it's always fun to get some people on the call. So definitely, if you're able to, definitely try and call in again in the future. It's always fun to hear from you all and see what you guys have to say. So so that is Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. The other Wii U game then coming this year, actually December 5th, is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. And so they have a new trailer for the game. There's 70 plus levels in the game. It's I mean, there's so much variety in the levels they showed. It was crazy. Like it was It seemed like there was just so much content in it. They really took that small little portion of Super Mario 3D World, right, and then they took it into a full whole new game, and it looks very interesting. I don't know that I'm gonna get it because I'm the type of person that completely sucks at puzzle games, and like I probably would get stuck after like the 5th level or something. I mean, I would love it. I'm sure I would just be stuck and then get frustrated, and I'm just not that good. I'm not that good at video games. I like talking about them, but I'm not that good at them. But that's why I have a podcast, so I can spend my time talking about them instead of playing them. But it looks great though, definitely for sure. So what are your thoughts on Captain Toad?
I definitely call bull that you're not good at video games. Have you played Mario Kart?
I guess
you are pretty good at like Mario Kart and probably Smash Brothers, but
yeah. Well, those are my top 2 favorites, so that's probably all I spend my time playing, I guess.
anyways, Captain Toad I guess was pretty fun when I was doing the like Super Mario 3D World, and it's pretty cool that they're doing a unique game. That's probably a maybe in my eyes. The game is usually I did enjoy playing it those smaller segments, and to get its own series, it seems like it's be a lot of just I don't know. They did show off a lot of the game already, which is I'm kind of disappointed to see. Like they were like numbering all the stages as they were showing them off, so it's like, you already kind of know what to expect in just about majority of the levels. But it does look like it will be a really fun game, and since with all the Amiibos launching, Smash Brothers, like NES Remix, it's getting, and I still need to catch up and get like Bayonetta 2 and some other games. I was looking at getting like Watch Dogs as well too. So it's definitely on my list. The games will probably get, but I probably won't be getting it this year.
Captain Toad was one of those things in 3D World that I did enjoy, but I'll be honest, the thing I didn't enjoy about it was that I had to use the gamepad because I played that game with the classic controller or the Pro controller, and I had my gamepad sitting on a charger because it only has like 4-hour battery, and I play. So when I sit down, sometimes I'll play for more than that if I get the chance. So a lot of times I had to go back to the Captain Toad levels. But when I did go back to them, I really enjoyed them. I thought they were smart, I thought they were clever, and they were a different change of pace. And I kind of wish I played through them as I arrived at them instead of just going back. But when I heard that the game was announced, I was happy because it's one of those safe games in the sense of like we were talking about like filler games almost, just to pad the lineup. But I think it's so much more. I think it could have been a filler padding game if they had like maybe 20 levels, but with over 70 levels and actual story, added things to every level with the gems and then the hidden challenges like don't get hit or don't die or collect the golden mushroom. Like it adds replayability and it's quick. It seems like you can go through a level, especially if you know it, in about 2 to 5 minutes. But there's that replayability, kind of like in Bayonetta, where you're just trying for a better goal. And I think that's going to keep people playing. And I'm going to get it. Whether I get to it on December, I think 5th it comes out, or not is a different story. I'll probably get to it before the end of the year. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I hope there's 2-player in it. But again, the only negative thing, at least at this point, is I think you need to use the gamepad. I love the gamepad, but if I can, I like to just sit there and not have to worry about a battery going dead on me. So we'll see, I guess. But I am curious to see what Amiibo support does, and I'm almost also curious. I can't talk now. Also curious why Amiibo functionality isn't here at launch, because they know that it's coming. They announced it that it's coming. Why isn't it here at launch? That's what I want to know. And if it's coming later, which they said it is, does that mean DLC later as well? Are they going to start doing this now?
Maybe.
Well,
I can see Captain Toad. Yeah, go.
I was gonna say I was definitely gonna be able to see this DLC. I mean, they can add it in for like the functionality. They can throw in some more levels. They can even do like a Mario design level form or something. I mean, they can do all sorts of stuff with that. And
Yeah.
obviously, I think they don't really want to disrupt like the Smash Brothers Amiibo line. That seems like they're trying to get all 49 of those guys out first. And obviously they're going to need a Toad Amiibo to probably be optimized for this game, so maybe they don't really want to throw Toad out there at this point, even though they probably should have it when it releases, but I'm thinking they probably don't want to hit the steal the Smash Brothers thunder off of the Amiibos, but then again, that game has more hype than Captain Toda to begin with.
You know, I would really love to see them do some kind of trailer talking about Captain Toad and showing off this Toad amiibo. Like, here's a Captain Toad amiibo, check it out. And when you puts it onto the gamepad, stuff in Captain Toad. But all of a sudden, you see like the cross appear, and you see Peach do the move where she holds out Toad, and suddenly Toad like just kicks her away, and it goes like Toad joins the battle, and like that would be so mind blowing and awesome, like to see that just happen out of nowhere. Make it happen, Nintendo.
Hey, maybe at E3 or something, because we know they are doing DLC for new characters, Mewtwo, right? So
Yep.
who knows? Maybe Captain Toad Amiibo. Maybe that's why they're holding off on the Amiibo stuff till next year. Simultaneous
Could be.
Captain Toad Smash Brothers Amiibo stuff. Who knows? Who knows?
And if it happens, you heard it here first.
Right. Yeah, I mean that would be pretty interesting. I think I'm sure they probably will make some sort of a Captain Toad amiibo, and I'm kind of excited to see what that looks like. Even if I don't end up getting Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, I probably will get a Captain Toad amiibo just because it'd be a nice figure to have. I think Captain Toad looks pretty cool.
Toadette too.
Yeah. So yeah, and then actually, Greg, you mentioned Watch Dogs. I honestly completely forgot about I remembered a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, I'll probably buy it. But oh my gosh, that's coming in 8 days, in November 18th. Wow, there's just way too much releasing at once.
I forgot about it too.
Gosh. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's the plan, is to forget about it and not to support Ubisoft, and then they'll complain if it didn't sell. I mean, it's already not going to sell. It's against Smash Brothers, and then they even have Captain Toad going after it. I mean, it's already set up to be a low sales game.
It's also going, even though it's not on Nintendo system, it's also going up the exact same day against Grand Theft Auto 5, which is also an older game re-released for PS4 and Xbox One. But it seems like there's so much love and attention going into that port. And what love and attention is the Wii U version of Watch Dogs getting? Nothing. They're not even advertising. It's just kind of.
Well, yeah, we don't even know what it's getting.
Yeah.
But they haven't talked about it.
There's supposedly really good gamepad features for the game that they had to work on to make it unique to the system, because that's why they supposedly delayed it 5 months.
And we're 8 days away, and we don't even know what those features are. Come on, Ubisoft. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I will get it, because I was really looking forward to Watch Dogs, and that's why I held off on it. I did buy a PS3, but then I was like, you know what? I'll just wait for the Wii U, version of Watch Dogs. So I will get it, and hopefully it'll be worth the wait. I guess we'll see if I can find time to play it, between Smash Brothers and everything else, and who knows.
I mean, it's on my Christmas list, so I'll probably be pretty good to take a break for Smash Brothers after playing that one for a month and a half, and be able to look down and play Bayonetta 2 and Watch Dogs and see what else kind of other games I get for Christmas.
I want to see if when you boot it up, all the gamepad does is show a picture of Yves' face, and he's just like, trolled you, constantly waving, trolled you, trolled you. You thought you were getting features, you get my face, that's it.
Right. So yeah, lots of stuff on the way. That is crazy. But if that's not all, they have a free demo of Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, which is a new game coming on November 11th, so you can get a demo on the eShop. Free demo of the Wii U game Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, which also comes November 11th.
Tomorrow. Just
tomorrow.
Yeah. So that demo will be available on December 4th, and there's also a new 3DS home menu theme and puzzle swap panel by Sonic Boom, which are both coming tomorrow. So lots of Sonic stuff. But also, they also spent a bit of time talking about indie games on Nintendo Direct, and there's lots of indie games on the way, including, they're kind of promoting them too in an interesting way. There's a new home menu theme based on Shovel Knight. There's the Commander Video Trophy in Smash Brothers for Wii U from the Bit Trip series, which is pretty cool. And there's just a bunch of there's a whole list of indie games coming. SteamWorld Heist, Tengami, Swords and Soldiers 2, all sorts of different things that I'm seeing on this list. So, any specific like indie games you all are looking forward to? I mean, aside from the million other things that are releasing at the same time.
I don't know about the recent ones. I mean, there's still ones that they announced whatever back in August that haven't come out yet that I was looking at getting, but I'll probably have to re-look through all the games that are coming and see which ones I was interested in, because it's been a little while since I reviewed those kind of games that are coming up.
Yeah, I like indie games. I like supporting them, but because of my whole past experience with downloadable games only, I probably won't be getting any of them. So I honestly didn't, focus on any of them too closely because they're not having a physical media, unfortunately. Although I still have yet to play Shovel Knight. I've heard tons of great things about it, and that's my bad.
You need to get over your fear and just buy like a downloadable game.
It's not my fear, dude. It's not my fear. I got every single Xbox Live Arcade game from launch in 2005 until 2011, and then I ran out of hard drive space and I couldn't get any more because there was no bigger hard drive, and so I stopped that whole collection. I was trying for a full thing and I can't do it, so I said screw it. That Nintendo held about $400 worth of WiiWare and Virtual Console games ransom because my Wii died, and they wanted to charge me $80 to get my games to put them on the Wii U. So after those two things, I'm like, I'd rather have the physical, where at least I have the disc. It's mine forever.
Yeah, because I've said before, my Wii U was like stolen, and then they just re-granted all the licenses for all the WiiWare games and Virtual Console games and eShop games. They just gave me 2 massive credits for me to rebuy the games that I wanted to rebuy. So I was able to pretty much pick up 99% of the games that I had, just missing the Donkey Kong Country series that was removed from the eShop, along with the game back from when they first started, the Platinum Prize at Doc Lewis's Punch-Out, and then finally the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was also removed from the eShop through the WiiWare Virtual Console service or whatever.
See, as a collector, it's like I like to be able to say, hey, I got this game. It's in my collection, and it's there. I don't have to worry about a system dying. I don't have to worry about, a system breaking or them not having it online to download anymore in 50 years. I still have it. It's mine. I will always have it. So it's part of my collection. So like that's my stance, because I could still buy my NES games and I could still play my NES games, and I guarantee you the NES servers would be dead a long time ago, since the Xbox servers are down and the PS2 servers are down and the GameCube, what little there was, are down. So NES servers would definitely be down by this point, but I could still play NES games. So I like having physical. That's me. I need to have a physical.
Right. Gotcha. Well, we're going to end with a downloadable thing, unfortunately, Barry, but it's not a game this time. It's actually, real quick, I'll say Pikmin 3, they are going to release a demo of it, finally, I guess, if anybody didn't try out the game yet or anything. But they also had some Pikmin short movies. So last month, Shigeru Miyamoto premiered these little animated short films, and you can now purchase them. There's 3 little shorts. One is like a minute and a half long. The other's like 8 minutes, and the other one like 12 minutes or something like that. And so you can get them for $4.99. You can either get the 3DS version, which is in 3D, of course, for $4.99, or for $4.99 you get the HD version on Wii U. So I actually ended up buying both because I was kind of like, I want to support like when they release these exclusive like shorts, because I want them to do more of it. I think I really loved the stuff on Nintendo Video. They did like a couple of the Kid Icarus ones.
Kid Icarus, yeah.
If they had let us buy those, I would have, gotten them really. So it's I loved when they do those kinds of shorts and animated stuff. So I got both of them, and between the two, I will say the 3D and the 3DS one was okay. Like there wasn't much 3D on it. I kind of prefer the HD one on the Wii U. I thought that was cool. Did either of you guys? Did you get the shorts at all?
I'm not much of a Pikmin fan, so I guess I haven't really gave it a chance to even try the games. I mean, I could now with the demo, but I've never really played the Pikmin games to begin with. I didn't really give them a chance to check them out, but I was kind of surprised that they were charging one each individually. You couldn't just buy it, and then if you watch it on the Wii U, then it would be in high def, or if you watch it on your 3DS, then it would be in 3D. But then again, that would be one of those cross-buy things, which Nintendo doesn't seem to be interested in doing yet.
Right.
Yeah, that was one of the things I noticed in the comments during the Direct when they talked about the price. A lot of people were like, "What? Are you kidding me? You gotta buy it." No. And I agree. I mean, I remember the Kid Icarus things in Nintendo Video. Rest in peace with awesome Nintendo Video. But they were great. But Nintendo doesn't like to make their stuff readily available. I mean, there's still no Kirby Right Back at You DVD release of all those series. You can't get those just to buy, so you can't do the Kid Icarus. So I was kind of a little turned off by that, especially with it only being 20 minutes long or 22 minutes or whatever. One thing I did find interesting about it, though, that they did not announce, and right after the Direct, I noticed there was a blue light on my 3DS, and it was like puzzle swap, and I was like, oh, here comes the Sonic Boom puzzle they showed. But no, they actually released 3 Pikmin 3D movie puzzles for the 3 different shorts. So if you got those, and I was surprised to see that. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, Smash Brothers doesn't get a puzzle, but Pikmin shorts does. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I've been really surprised we haven't gotten a Smash Brothers panel yet. I mean, obviously, it would have been prime to get to it when they did the 3DS version of the game, but, I mean, with all these other upcoming panels, like one for Sonic Boom, I mean, it almost kind of seems like they're not going to give you one when the Wii U game launches in, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm surprised no Smash Brothers. There was Fantasy Life. There was, they even did one for the 2 Kirby games that went downloadable from Triple Deluxe, but
yeah.
no Smash Brothers.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. That is kind of interesting. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, although now I'm getting a lot more Street Passes after I got the Raspberry Pi and I set up the whole Home Pass thing, which I still need to post that video, so that'll be up on NintendoFuse soon. But I've been getting a ton of Street Passes from that. That's definitely been useful. But yeah, I wonder. I'm sure they probably will release one eventually. But
maybe.
Yeah. But I will say the Pikmin short movies were actually like Pikmin, they're pretty cute and they're funny and stuff. But some of them, like especially the third one, the longest one, is kind of brutal. Like, they don't shy away from stuff. I was kind of like literally surprised at some things. Like they, in the series, you have armies of Pikmin, and they can get eaten and killed and stuff, and you see their little ghost, and they make a little crying sound, and it like kills my heart on the inside. It's so sad. Like, they have that in the short film. Like, Pikmin actually get, like, killed, and the little ghost appears. And I'm like, oh, no, it's a cartoon thing. Like, why are you showing this? And, like, not even that. One of the Bulborbs, like, one of the things, like, eats a Pikmin, and, like, the top part with the how, like, the Pikmin have the red, like, or whatever sticking out, and then the leaf on top, that, like, falls out of the Bulborb's mouth and rolls on the ground. I'm like, oh, jeez. Like, what?
Wow.
And they even show, graphic. Yeah, they even show, like, an army of Pikmin, attacking this giant Bulborb, enemy, and then, like, something's about to fall on top of it, so they all move away, and for, like, a couple seconds, you see, like, a blurred image. Like, they blur the Bulborb to make it seem like he got beaten up so badly, and I was like, wow, this is actually, like, pretty intense stuff. So, I mean, it was funny. It has funny moments, and it was pretty cool, but I was kind of surprised by that, too, so... interesting.
Miyamoto, M for mature.
Yeah, he's an interesting mind there. You think he's innocent, but you never know what he's thinking there. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps things up for the Nintendo Direct. I want to say the last episode we said something about, like, watch there be a Nintendo Direct soon, because we always do that. Like, we always say there's going to be a Nintendo Direct. I don't think there will be this time yet, because they just had one, so... We'll let you guys know when a Nintendo Direct is coming, because we're usually right, it seems like.
After our Smash Brothers episode.
You're right, exactly.
I don't
So,
think we're gonna get another direct until probably January or February, to be honest.
I bet.
Yeah, realistically, you're right. I was already thinking about that already. We're probably done for this year, unless they were to do a game-specific one. Seems like they already showcased a lot of the levels in the previous one.
Right. I think they kind of covered up the rest of the year. I think January is probably a good bet for maybe even for the new 3DS. They might announce in January, and more Amiibo waves. And
well, this one did cover till spring, so probably I'd say February with the new 3DS. Probably more on Majora's Mask 3D and more of the spring titles. Maybe a date for Xenoblade and a date for Yoshi's Woolly World.
I was gonna say I think they end up doing the main Nintendo Directs. I don't know the recent one, but aren't they usually like every other month? The main ones. I know they kept up that pattern for a while, but then I don't remember. They've done so many other smaller Directs, I can't remember recently.
Yeah, I think it depends on what they have to show. If they don't have anything to show, they're not going to do it.
Right. What is going on over there?
Down all over the place.
I thought a kid was dying. It was a Pikmin. It was a Pikmin being eaten.
It was the sound of a Pikmin dying. I'm gonna have nightmares. So with that Pikmin's death, it is the end of the podcast. Yeah, that's that. But now we can say in 2 weeks we'll be back with another episode. Steve will be back here with us, and we'll be talking about Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. We'll have the Mario Kart 8 DLC. We'll give our thoughts on that. We'll have the Amiibo to show you guys, give our thoughts on that. And
Hyrule
whatever
Warriors
else comes
DLC
out.
too.
Oh yeah, Hyrule Warriors Amiibo functionality. I guess. Well, I'll buy Watch Dogs whether I get time to play it or not. So we'll see.
Sonic Boom, if we get the chance to play. It comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's. Oh gosh, that's too much at once. So yeah.
And we also did hear from our Nintendo review copy of Smash Brothers NES Remix and Captain Toad. So we might have some impressions to give off at that time as well, depending if we receive the product before the podcast.
There you go. And Barry, I think you said your Bayonetta 2 review is coming up?
Yeah, doing some finishing touches, and then I'll go into proofread, and that should be up hopefully this week, if not earliest next week.
Cool. So if you guys want to know about Bayonetta 2, check out NintendoFuse.com. We'll have that review. We'll have lots more stuff on the way. Smash Bros. Cover plates. I'm going to go open this up after the podcast and do a video of it. So lots of stuff on the way. So stay tuned to NintendoFuse.com. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. See ya.